sure one of my cars, my speedometer actually works, and it is actually accurate. Looks pretty dark to the south. Okay, this is my 1958 Pontiac Parisienne. It's a Canadian model. It's the higher line of the line of Pontiacs. American ones are Bonneville. Everybody knows this car, or at least all my buddies do. They know it as the Green Onion. My good friend Davey came up with a nickname when we were building it. It was in the family, I do believe, since 1961. My father took it on a trip to New York, I do believe, and on the way back through Fergus Falls, I think the tranny took a dirt nap and it died, so they towed it home, and I do believe it just sat in my grandma's garage till the early 90s, I do believe. I remember as kids always like sneaking in the garage and we'd go play in it and sit in the front seat and bounce around and all that crazy crap and getting yelled at and whatnot. Damn lights. Can we edit that? Or? Alright. And so shortly after she passed, it went to my uncle's farm, and it sat out for about 10 years out in the field or out in his farmyard there, and it just really deteriorated. Shortly after that, we kind of talked him into bringing it home, and we trailered it home and brought it to Stony. And he slowly started taking things apart, about taking things off, and it was going to redo everything, but it kind of more or less just sat around. He ended up getting sick and never really did anything with it. So shortly after his passing, my buddy Davey kind of talked me into it and forced me to start working on it, and luckily enough my brother Kevin built a new shop, and we're able to do put this together and also work on his Model 8 Roadster at the same time. So we pretty much did that every weekend. Sunday was our day. Usually he'd come over about 6 o'clock in the morning most Sundays, and sadly that's almost when I was just finally getting home. It was about 6 in the morning, and so we just go right to work. But yeah, we did everything that winter. We did the brakes, the suspension, all the new ball joints, bushings, brake lines, fuel lines, just everything. We wanted to get on the road and start driving this thing. We didn't do any of the body work, left it all the way it was, and I'll show you guys pictures on what it looked like prior to all this. The only thing in the interior we did replace was the carpet, but everything else we just left the body the way it was. I'll show you the motor. It's 283. It's not the original 283. I still have that motor sitting on a stand at my mom's garage, but one of my buddies is an engine builder, and he actually happened to have this. Just it was for another gentleman's project, but he bailed on it, so I was able to buy it fairly cheap. It's just a 283. It was bored 30 over. It has newer, I think 305 heads on it. Just a mild camshaft, nothing crazy. Won't set the world on fire or nothing like that by any means. I did try running it on the original style Chevrolet carburetor, but I could never really get it to perform properly, so I just put an adapter and put a Weber style Edelbrock 500 CFM carburetor, and that seemed to smarten this thing up quite a bit. Back in the day, my old man did chrome the shroud and the fan, so I put that back on. I did end up sending the radiator out and got it totally recored. After the third attempt of trying just to put used ones in, I finally just bit the bullet and spent the money and got one done. I left it with the 12 volt generator on it, although one of these days I may switch it to an alternator. So that'll probably be coming up in an upcoming video. I bought this a few years ago at one of our shows and had a local guy pinstripe it. Just a neat old Oldsmobile air cleaner. And again, just with a dual point distributor. Nothing crazy. Like I said, this car's been really reliable. I probably put about 40,000 miles on it since doing it. The interior's all original. I haven't cleaned it up, as you can see, but everything's original, minus the carpet was the only thing I replaced. One of the neat features I always thought was pretty cool is the key with the Indian in it. Thought that was always pretty neat. And those are my ghetto cup holders, gaff tape. Work excellent for big gulps. I'm not sure what the whole deal with the clock was, but that's where my father had it there ever since we remember, so I kind of just cleaned everything up and it's always been there. So it's a magnetic clock and it just sits there. I know it doesn't work. All the stainless on this thing was really nice. Maybe one day when I do win the lottery, I'll take this rear bumper off and get it sent in and get it stripped and re-chromed. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. There was one thing I never understood, but I guess something hit it here one time, and there was a heck of a crease, and it was really, like, it was a good sized crease. But I was able to send it to a local shop, and they were able to knock it out and polish it and everything else, and they did a really great job. Couldn't ask for anything more. I tried finding this piece, but I just couldn't find any on eBay or anything like that. Oh, yes. When we did the body work and paint or whatever, I'll show you pictures of all that too. We stripped it all down to bare metal. I like always chemical stripping all that stuff, although lately I don't think I'm going to do it again, but it's too time consuming. But I did chemical strip this whole thing down. The rocker panels were actually surprisingly very well. The quarter panels, they were all gone on both sides, both inner and outer. They don't make any for the 58s. They make for 57 and 59, but for 58, I have no idea why they don't make them. But I'll show you guys pictures on how we did this. And I do believe to make all this, I think it was about 6 pieces, but we did it over the period of about a winter or so, and it turned out pretty good. The exhaust is just 2.5-inch mandrel bent exhaust that I had a local shop do, with just MagnaFlow exhaust, so it does give it that rumble, and it does sound pretty good. Like I said, I put probably 40,000 miles on this old turd, probably within 10 years. I've taken it back to 50s probably half a dozen times, out west, out east, just driving locally everywhere, and it's never let me down, except one time we were coming back from back to the 50s, me and my brother, and we were about an hour outside of east or west or Minnesota anyway, I'm not exactly sure where, but that wheel bearing went, and I didn't have anything to really fix it, so I jacked it up, and I realized that the rear bearing let go, and I didn't have a hammer or nothing to bang it all back in. So luckily I bought the tranny mount for this thing, the cross member, and it weighed a good 15-20 pounds. So we used that as our hammer, and we had to stop every 20 minutes or 20 miles, depends on what the road was like, and knock it back in. But that's all part of hot rodding and everything else. But it took probably, I don't know, 15 hours to get home. That was a long ass day, but that's the only time this old turd's let me down. A lot of people ask what color it was, and I'll show you, because I can't remember right now. Should know, but I don't. Atlas green, and the lighter green, I'm not too sure on. Well, anyway, it was painted Atlas green, and I can't remember the other color it is, but yeah, we just went to our local paint shop in Winnipeg, and me and my other brother, we just picked it out, and we kind of thought what we wanted. I wanted something bright and vibrant and all that, and it turned out pretty good, and I liked the colors. When I did first get this turd on the road, I thought it was only right that I went to my mom's and grabbed my dad's urn, and we went for a drive and all that. You know, it's only fitting, it was his car, so I figured that's kind of neat. But like I said, it's been a great car. It'll always be in the family. Who knows what will ever turn or come of all these old cars, but we've got quite a collection of them anyway. But yeah, like I said, it's been a really great car. Lots of memories and all that, and there's gonna be a lot more. One day, whenever the 2-speed I did obviously get rebuilt, but one day when it does take a dirt nap or crap out again, I might put a 4-speed in it. I did originally have the pedals for them, but I used them for when I made the my Coupa 4-speed, so it's not a problem. I do know there's more of that stuff. But in closing, this, I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff, but I think this is pretty sums it up anyway, of my Pontiac Parisienne, aka Green Onion, Booker T and the MGs. Check it out. But yeah, in closing, you know what? Like, subscribe. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so that's pretty awesome. Thanks, guys. We'd like to hear more for comments and all that stuff. If you're like me, you're probably not really great with computers, but if I can do it, you can figure it out. You just need an email, and then hit subscribe and all that. And like I said, it took me a little while to do it, but I figured it out. And so in closing, you know, thanks guys for all the support and everything, and we're just going to keep making these videos if you guys want to keep watching them. I said this has been a really fun car. I usually take it out everywhere. It's been a blast. And yeah, it's going to get a lot more miles, but like I said, probably put on about 45,000 miles in 10 years or so, and it's been everywhere. And in closing on that, I think I'm going to call it a night, and that's it. Thanks a lot. Appreciate watching my video. Have a great night.